Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It is a cold, rainy day today, so what else better to do than to film a review on Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. So ideally, I was actually going to be filming a spoiler-free review on this book because I have decided I would like to do a spoiler-free review on the first book of each series that I do. And I am doing Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, The Final Empire. But the more that I thought about it, if I was to do a completely spoiler-free review, it would be about 2 minutes. And I think you guys want a little bit more of my opinion. Plus, it kind of saves me from filming another video. So I will go ahead and try to keep half of it spoiler-free and half of it spoilers. So I'll kind of tell you guys when the spoilers are going to start. But basically, Mistborn, The Final Empire is the first book in the Mistborn trilogy. I don't think it's a complete trilogy. I think there's like 3 main books, and then I think there's a couple books attached to it. I haven't done too much research into it because I've only read the first book and I didn't want to get spoiled as to what happens. So, it's the first book in the trilogy. I'm just going to go ahead and call it that. And it follows a girl named Vin, a man named Kelser, or Kel, Ham, Marsh, the Lord Ruler, and a bunch of other characters that I can't remember off the top of my head. But I do have my Remarkable tablet here to kind of keep me on track on where my thoughts are going. So basically, it kind of opens up and you get to meet Vin. And Vin is basically what you would say as a street urchin. She is somewhat of like a thief. She is included in, like, plots to steal people's money by various deals and gigs, I guess I'll call it. And then you get to meet Kel, and Kel is a Mistborn, which means he has control over all the elements. He can push and pull. It's very complicated, but Brandon does a beautiful job at explaining how it works. I'm just going to butcher it just to let you know. But basically, like, each element does something different, like copper, gold, silver, and then there's a couple just made up ones, I think. Don't quote me on that because I don't know much about metal. But, you kind of get to, the whole book kind of alludes to this 11th metal that nobody knows anything about except the Lord Ruler. And it was kind of like a mystery, and we need to figure out what is in this. So, Kel is a survivor of very harsh punishment from the Lord Ruler he was subjected to. So he's something called a crew leader. He kind of goes against everything the Empire stands for. He's kind of like a rebellion. And the book kind of starts off with him basically burning down somebody's house because he decided to take a woman's ska. And a ska is basically like a non-magical person who's like basically slaves, is what skas are, and they work on plantations. And basically what happens is because nobility has power to be Mistborns, which is all this power, but also you can only have power over one element. So maybe you're just like a smoker, or you are a soother. Kind of complicated, but stay with me. So you only have power 1, so you're less powerful than a Mistborn, but you're still very much elite. And whoever has power has nobility, basically. Not always, because I'm going to explain that. So basically what happens is, I think magic is, or being a Mistborn is actually transferred through like blood. So if a Mistborn and a Ska come together, they have the potential to have a Mistborn daughter or son. And so because of that, and because of the threat to that, because the nobility just likes to have, their way with women and just take a woman from her house and rape her, essentially, just for the fun of it and to please themselves. Now, if that woman was to get pregnant, now you have the ability to then have an offspring of being a Mistborn. And if that happens, then you can't really control them because they're so powerful. So to prevent that, what happens is if a man takes the Ska woman, the woman has to be killed. So basically, if in the middle of the night your daughter was taken or your mother was taken to go please the plantation owner, you would not be seeing them again for a very long time. Sometimes they would let them live for a few days and then they would kill them off, but it's like a rule that you have to kill the Ska woman, and it's terrible. So basically that's how the beginning of it opens, and Kel just decides to save that woman and say F you to the guy and burn his house down, and it's amazing. So Kel is very much anti-nobility. He's all about equality for Ska, and he doesn't see any of this as fair, which I would agree. So he stumbles upon Vin, and this is where I'm kind of gonna get into spoilers. So he stumbles upon Vin, and Vin is with a group of people with a deal, and she accidentally soothes somebody she shouldn't because she can soothe people. She calls it her luck, and she uses her luck. She doesn't know what it is yet, and she soothes the wrong person, and because of that, she gets put on the hot list of you need to die from the Inquisitors, who are like the big bad police guys, I guess I'll call them. And because of that, Kel kind of saves her and takes her under his wing. Now, I am going to get into spoilers. He tells her, I'm letting you know, this is a spoiler. He tells her that she is something called a Mistborn, so she has power over all the elements. And he kind of takes her in and says, you're going to be part of this, and we're going to put you in as our spy at these balls that they throw, and you're going to be a lady of the court, basically. And so she does that, and it was so much fun to see how the balls worked, how to see the political intrigue and the backstabbing and the deals and the families. And I think Brandon did such a good job at that aspect. I think he made it something complicated very simple and easy to understand, which is very, very difficult to do. So props to him. And so Vin goes under as this valet, lady valet, and she meets this man. I want to say his name's Eland. I don't know how to pronounce half these names, but she meets Eland, or Elend. Pardon me if I'm not saying it right, but and he's pretty powerful. He's one of the most powerful houses. And they kind of end up falling in love with each other, which I thought was so cute. And I think Brandon did a good job with that chemistry there. I think he did a really good job. Something that Brandon also did was he made you... I loved the family aspect. He really did give you time with Kel, with Vin, with Marsh, with the Lord Ruler. You got to... The lore of this book is so intricate. I really have to give him props. He made you kind of care about every character and kind of make that family feeling more realistic to the reader. He made the reader care. And it was funny because I told my brother, who has read the series, and he told me to read the series. I said, I think Kel's gonna die. I don't really see this. I think his ideas are too big. I think he's gonna die, and I don't know what's gonna happen once he does die. Granted, I thought he would die in the second book or the third book. He dies in this book. And he died with a bang, in my opinion. Like, it was a very sad, like, death and very quick. But I loved that scene. And then afterwards, what happened, how he had kind of made himself a god and got all the ska worked up and said, no, for Kel, we're gonna do this. We're gonna follow out his mission. I really, really loved that scene. I loved how Vin I loved the vulnerability of Vin, and I felt myself connecting to her on a level of, she keeps saying, everybody leaves me, when are you going to leave me? And it just kind of made me cry when she said that to Kel, because she can never trust anybody, and I feel like in my life that has happened with me, but I won't get too much into my life. But I really liked her story, because as soon as, he dies and she's like, you left me and da-da-da, she kind of is like, no, I'm gonna go be a badass. I'm gonna go give Kel his justice. And she does. And oh my goodness, that ending scene of where she figures it all out. She meets the Lord Ruler. She gets into that little box, that boxed area. She gets to see all of it, and then it kind of clicks to her. I also loved when Eland came and saved her, came to save her. I thought that was so adorable. I love their relationship. And I want to know a lot more about Vin. I'm excited to explore her character because she's strong. They keep saying to her, you're special, you're strong, you killed a Mistborn and you've only been training for 6 months? Are you kidding me? I'm excited to see why. I'm excited to see how. I'm excited to see what makes her special. She was kind of questioning at the end of it, why is she so powerful? Why could she rip the rings off of the Lord Ruler and essentially kill him? Why could she do that versus somebody else? She's smart, too. She's incredibly intelligent, and that's also just makes it fun to read about her. To see her thoughts and to see the conclusions, and it's just fun to it's almost like a mystery book. It's like, why, and then it's like, boom, it was Agatha all along. And I love reading that point of view as well. Something I also really enjoyed about how Brandon did this is he made sure that the Lord Ruler wasn't defeated in one go. There was a lot of attempts, in my opinion, to kill him. And failed, and she didn't give up. They didn't give up. And I really enjoyed that, because sometimes I feel like too often, there's this one epic battle, which is great. But sometimes it can be very, that's all it took. That's all. I remember when I was reading, and I did do a review on it, The Hero and the Crown, and literally she gets up there and then does one thing and the villain's gone. And I'm like, what? So I really liked the showing how powerful the Lord Ruler was without taking away his power, and making Vin like a god. I really, really liked that. Something else I also really liked about the story is that it kind of wrapped it all up in one book. So typically, I'm going to talk about YA here because I have a lot more experience with YA than adult fiction. With YA, it's like I don't know, but with YA, they will have like, we're gonna take down the empire. Okay, so she goes undercover, she learns all the secrets, and then she gets, discovered, and she has to flee. And that's the first book. And then the second book is all about plotting for the third book. And then the third book is that big, massive, like, empire falling book. And that's where you get the second book slump because nobody wants to see nothing happening. And typically that's something that happens in books of 3. But what Brandon has done is he made a whole story in one book. But with that being said, the next book is still going to take aspects of that first book. The Lord Ruler's gone. How are they going to... There are challenges that I want to talk about, but there are definitely challenges that are going to arise as the new empire is being created. And another villain, I don't think it's actually going to be a villain, I think it's going to be more of a force, is going to be the topic of the next book. And so I like how they didn't make like a huge battle between the Lord Ruler and them, and then say, oh, we were thwarted, we went back into our hole, and we have to regroup. I'm really happy they just ended it right. He ended it where it needed to end, and it was very satisfying. So I'm excited to see what happens in the next book. All in all, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5 stars. I think Brandon did such a good job on this book. I'm excited to read the second one, and I would love to know your guys' thoughts on the book as well. Have you read it? Did my review make you want to read it? Leave me those thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. I will say really quickly, if there's any negativity, I will be deleting it. There's no place for negativity in my comment section. This is a place for positivity. And you will be deleted if you decide to put something rude or mean in the comments. So thank you. I will see you guys in my next video, and I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.